All right, hello everybody. This is JT Siskowski with Status Coup. I am joined by
Rocio Garcia with the Grassroots Collaborative and the People's Unity Platform.
Can I get you to start just by spelling your name so we get it right when we put it below your name on screen?
It's Rocio, R-O-C-I-O, Garcia, G-A-R-C-I-A.
All right, and we are out here for the Funds Not Feds rally. Can you walk us through what the message that you're hoping to deliver here with this event, this march?
Yeah, for a very long time, billionaires and rich corporations and the ultra-rich have been benefiting off of the disinvestment across communities in Chicago, black and brown communities specifically. And those same billionaires and rich corporations are the ones that are benefiting from Trump's tax cuts and a tax on Chicago. So right now that the city and the state are going to go into budget season, we have a opportunity to make sure that we create the policy to change the material conditions across communities, and that means that we tax rich people, that we tax rich corporations, that we bring into Chicago the modernization corporate head tax, that we bring a big tech social media tax, that we use the TIF surplus, and that we ensure that we're using the police slush fund towards actually investing in our communities. So we've researched the solutions and we know they're going to work.
Let's walk through some of those solutions. Some of these bold progressive taxes that you're proposing, what would they go to pay for? How would they better the lives of the people in and around Chicago?
Absolutely. Look, we need housing all over Chicago. We need green social housing. We need mental health care. We need more mental health care centers opened. We need the care team to be in operation in every ward. We also need to make sure that we have childcare accessible to every family across every ward. And we need to invest in young people. We need to invest in the Peace Book.
Yeah, in our reporting here in Chicago over the last 3 weeks, we have heard from person after person who's expressing frustration with their current leaders, their Democratic leaders, that they feel are not doing enough necessarily to meet this moment of ICE in the streets, and also saying that if the federal government actually wanted to help the people of Chicago, they should invest here in the city. So what are some ways that current elected Democrats could be standing up for the people of Chicago, getting them some of the themes we heard, better education, better health care? What are those ways that leaders right now should be leading and actually advocating for a better future for the people of Chicago?
Look, it is a matter of making bold choices. We have the ability to use the veto session in Springfield. We have the ability to use the Chicago budget that will be announced on October 16th this upcoming week. And city council members here have the opportunity to vote in support of, can tell the mayor that they're in support of progressive taxes to ensure that Chicagoans are taken care of. You know, and that takes willingness, and that takes boldness, and that takes, people have already been talking to alders and calling into their offices, and a lot of alders are in support, right? So alders are either in support of the people in Chicago, the people that elected them, or they're not with us.
When you say they're not with you, meaning they're apathetic or they're outright opposed?
Well, if they're not with us, there's only, one message that they're sending, and the only ones that are benefiting when they're not with us are the rich corporations, are the billionaires, are the friends of Trump that are getting the same pay cuts when Trump is lining his pockets, when these rich corporations, his friends and his family and his kids are lining their pockets. So those are the people that they're with.
What you're talking about is a lot of local change here, just within this state, within this city. Right now, we're seeing a government shutdown play out across the country, where Democrats are running on making the case that for defending existing Obamacare subsidies or Obamacare subsidies that were set to lapse. I've asked quite a few people about the need for a bold progressive vision from their Democratic leaders right now. How could Democratic leaders at the national level fight in this moment to support the work that you're doing here locally?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, people are on the ground every single day. People are setting up the rapid response teams, and locally there's not enough people, right? We need policies. We need Democrats across the country to hold the line, right? And to listen to what is actually happening on the ground, the organizers who are and recruiting people, everyday people, into rapid response teams to ensure that the attack from the Trump administration is lessened across Latino communities in Chicago, right? And so they need to hold the line at the national level, right? And ensure that we don't give in, right? Locally, that's what we've been doing. We are organized historically in Chicago. We've been organized for decades, right? We are a mecca of organizing, and that's what it takes. Knowing how to defend our rights, knowing our constitutional rights, and knowing very well that we're electing elected officials that are going to serve us in the best interest of the people.
Absolutely. You could just be holding another rally, just excoriating ICE for what it's doing here in this community. Why is it important to bring the attention back to billionaires, to big corporations? Where do you see them as fitting into this, bigger picture of what is happening, of the pain that's being inflicted on the Chicagoland area right now?
Yeah, look, we're here standing outside of Google. And down the street is Valor Equity Partners, where the CEO is a billionaire, Antonio Gracias, where he is friends with Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, where he intentionally made sure to cut programs like Medicaid, like Social Security, like public education, to be able to then allow Trump to create the budget, the tax cuts for rich corporations like himself. So basically, he's doing the thing to ensure that he fattens up his own wallet. Google, on day one of Trump administration, made sure to give donations to Trump and his friends, right? So these corporations are the ones that are standing in the way of communities, of workers being able to make ends meet, of putting food on the table, of being able to buy a home, of being able to pay their bills instead of having to make tough choices between paying their bills or paying their medication. And the ones that are not there with us are the billionaires. While they're profiting, like, why in the world does somebody need billions of dollars to live in this world? You don't. While a worker in a community like La Villita, where I'm from, the average salary there is way, way, way below the billions of dollars that a billionaire like Antonio Gracias is.
Absolutely. So, given that, you're walking through helping somebody be able to put food on the table, like these very personable and straightforward ways of actually helping people. How would the policies that you're advocating for lead to someone being able to put food on the table for their family or a roof over their heads?
Look, the material conditions that we're calling for can be done through a budget, a fiscal budget that is a moral document in our city. If we make sure that we have the revenue necessary to fund all of the programs and services across our communities and fill the city's deficit, we won't be cutting the programs that communities benefit, right? When there are services and programs across our communities are people in the community are able to thrive and not just be left to survive.
Can you just give us a little bit of an overview of what we should expect from this event today?
Yeah, so today we have a lineup of community residents speaking to the need that they're experiencing. We have elected officials with us today, and we have just a set of real powerful folks who have been doing the research and are here to say we need to invest in our communities, and that's why we need to tax billionaires and be willing to tax rich corporations.
Do you see a willingness in the Democratic Party as it's constituted right now to actually tax billionaires and tax rich corporations?
Look, I think that we have the ability to do a lot in Chicago, right? Like, we've gotten to a very different point in time than we have in the past. We have a mayor in the fifth floor that comes from movement, that has been an organizer, that has been a teacher, that understands these struggles because they were also the struggles of his own family and the struggles of his own students, right? So there is an opportunity that we have now. Now it's up to city council members if they're going to support our platform with the People's Unity platform, if they're going to support the research that the Public Health and Safety Coalition has brought forth, or if they're going to choose to want to fill the city's budget with property taxes, or the budget's deficit, the city's deficit with property taxes or fees and fines. Like, those are things of the past. Like, we need to turn a different page in Chicago, and we have the ability to do that. We've done the research. It's here.
I'm just curious from your anecdotal experience, have you seen since Operation Midway Blitz has started, obviously there's been a ton of media attention on the Chicagoland area. Have you seen a lot of media attention paid to some of these working class issues that you're advocating for?
Look, it's important that we're paying attention to it all holistically, right? Like, during the blitzes that are happening, they're specifically going against workers and street vendors who can no longer be on the street to make a living wage for their own family, to be able to put food on that table. So that attack is very personal, and so we must put the policies forth. Thank you for this interview. I have to get back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. The last question I always end with is there any question I haven't asked you that I should have, anything I haven't given you the opportunity to say that you would like to?
We're going to get this done. We have to make sure that people are present on October 16th. We want to say shame on you to the corporations, shame on you to the billionaires who are standing in the way of people actually being able to put food on the table and forcing workers to work multiple jobs, right? Shame on you. And, we don't want feds. We don't want feds in Chicago. We don't need ICE terrorizing our communities, and we absolutely do not need the National Guard here. So,
thank you very much for your time. You've been very generous with it. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we'll reset here. I don't even know if you can call it resetting because I didn't have the chance to introduce where we are, what we're doing here at the start of this rally. In the beginning, we had to jump right in with an interview while we had the opportunity to get it there with one of the organizers of this Funds Not Feds rally just off of downtown Chicago on the near west side, outside of the offices of Google, these are activists down here who are trying to raise the salience of the issue, the importance of in this moment, while the federal government is investing in Chicago in the form of masked agents, unidentified goons running around the streets here, arresting people, profiling them, inflicting so much terror in Chicago communities. How could that money be better spent, and how could the federal government go about, and the local government here as well, go about refocusing its priorities to actually help the people of Chicago? That is what this event is here for today. We've been told there's going to be a good number of speakers out here, some speeches that'll be getting started here in just a few moments. We'll be drawing attention to the needs of the people of Chicago in this time. I'll note, just looking around, we don't have very much media presence. Certainly none that's identifiable as what you might consider mainstream or corporate outlets that usually like to plaster their logo on everything. It's just a few independent outlets is what it looks like, and us. So there were so many cameras out at the Broadview ICE detention facility covering a recent march out there by some faith leaders who were attempting to deliver communion to folks being held inside that facility. Important to be sure. We were there. We recorded it. We covered that as well. We also got out to the town of Cicero, which is one of the largest Hispanic communities in the state of Illinois, to hear from students out there, teens right now who are afraid, terrified of their families being broken apart, saying that they are being dehumanized. We were out there this morning, then we went over to Broadview, covered the same thing that the mainstream media is covering over there, and now we're out here to lift up the voices of activists who are saying this is what could actually help Chicago. And if you value this work, we're also going to be back at Broadview tonight for some of the protests out there. If you value all that work, everything that me and John and our small team are able to cover, please consider supporting us. Go to StatusCoup.com/join. $5 a month goes to help us cover all of this in a day that you won't see, the CNNs and the other corporate-supported media doing even a fraction of the coverage that we are offering you today. So this event is about to get started. Yes, John? Yeah. Well, we're going to move around here. We're going to give you a sense of the scene, maybe try and talk to a few people. Because, there's quite a few people out here. I'd say that there's around 100. There's a couple of dozen of police officers across the street. You see a lot of people out here with signs that read, to protect our public health services from Trump's cuts, defend against Trump, workers' rights, housing, calling out funds not fed, some of these priorities that these folks here have out here. Yep, you hear that they're starting to call for this. They're calling for the speakers so that they can get this event started here pretty quickly.
Up front, let's see ya. We plan here in the car.
So what is your name, ma'am?
My name is Susan Clay.
Susan Clay?
Yes.
So, Susan, why did you want to be out here today?
Because there is so much going on with Donald Trump not looking out for the people, just looking out for the rich and not looking out for the ones that really need the help. We need mental health. We need food programs. We need health programs. We need everything that we're out here fighting for. We need it today, not tomorrow, but today.
So you say that, Donald Trump looking out for the interests of the rich right now. In what ways do you see him doing that?
Oh, my God. Look, he's cut the funding here for the children. He's cut the funding for the mental health. He's cutting the funding for the seniors. He's even cutting funding like the government program, the program through AARP for the workers. He's cut that. We can't get paid. So he's cutting all of us that are here, that are really important or should be important to him. He's cutting us down real low.
You do see the presence of the federal government here in the form of ICE right now, doing all of these raids.
You cannot miss it, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. And it's everywhere. And the way that ICE has come in here and the way that they're doing people, that's not respect, not to us as citizens or even to the people that they're just snatching off the street. They don't even know who's who. They're just getting anybody, all in schools and everywhere. And that's just not fair.
So if the federal government were to take that money that they're currently investing into ICE and put it into some of these programs.
Mental health, food programs for the children, different things that we don't have that we should have, the health program, all of that,
Why is it important to bring attention to this? Like, you could be out at Broadview protesting ICE right now. You're down here raising consciousness about the programs that would actually help Chicagoans. Why is that important in this moment rather than just protesting ICE?
Because it is because our young folks are losing out on programs that they should have for them. The mental health, you have a lot of mental health walking that they need help. And we don't have it to give them. So the funds that they're using to do this craziness, yes, they need to take and put into programs that's going to benefit people that need it.
Susan, can you give us a little bit of just your Chicago resume? Like, where do you live? How long have you been in the area?
Okay. So I came up like in Morgan Park, and then I went out in the suburbs because I'm a foster child. So I came up in different varieties of different places. But right now, while I'm here in Chicago, I'm on 61st and 67th and Langley. And you see the helicopters going. You hear all the noise, So it's not all about just the young folks out here shooting up people, but it's about the ICE. It's about the president. It's about a million things. So we need to be out here fighting for this. What
are the programs in all that time you lived here in Chicago? What are the programs that have had the biggest impact on your life, your family, your friends, your community? What are some of the programs that you would like to see greater investment in because of the good that you've seen in your life?
The children, the seniors, and mental health.
Yeah, can you give us an example of a time when that has come to benefit you or benefit someone close to you?
Well, in the three that I named, the children are the most important, and the seniors, because I am a senior, and I do have grandchildren, and I have great-grandchildren. So the programs need to be picked up. We need to take them and roll with them. It takes a village to raise a kid, but now it takes everybody to raise one. So we need the government to do what they need to do.
We've talked a lot about what Donald Trump could be doing in this moment that would actually help Chicago. I also want to address local leaders here. What more could your local, your state leaders be doing in this moment?
They could collaborate with the churches. They could collaborate with the schools. They could collaborate with the organizations such as us that are out here to help build them up. We got them in office. They need to come out and do something with us to protect us and to get us going.
Can you tell us a little bit about your organization?
Action Now. I didn't know I was going to. Action Now is a nonprofit organization, and we fight for our folks. We fight for fair tax raises. We fight for anything that is negative towards our group, or even towards anybody, not just Action Now members, but all over Chicago or anywhere that we are. So that's what we're out here doing, fighting, standing up and speaking for them. Okay?
Seems like we're getting ready to get started here. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. All right. Hearing the chanting starting here from the crowd, funds not feds.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, it's here where we're expecting to hear from about 11 speakers, and then for this group to lead a march here in the near west side of Chicago, just off of downtown, in the shadow of ICE raids here and around the city and in some of the surrounding neighborhoods. They are using this as an opportunity to fight for programs that they think would actually benefit the people of Chicago. And now we see all the cameras taking up their positions, and we will as well as we get ready for these speakers to start.
Public health is public safety. Public health is public safety. Public health is public safety. Youth jobs is public safety. Tax the rich. 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 This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What a beautiful day it is to be out here with you all. Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. My name is Rocio Garcia, ROCIO-GARCIA, and I'm the Senior Organizing Director with the Grassroots Collaborative and the People's Unity Platform Coalition. The People's Unity Platform Coalition is a coalition of grassroots organizations, campaigns, and labor unions to implement a progressive agenda that will benefit the lives of poor and working class Black and brown Chicagoans. I am feeling grateful. I am feeling grateful for all of you standing here today. It warms my heart that in the wake of so much terror inflicted across our communities, it feels so hopeful to stand with you all and be surrounded by the people who are willing to fight to fight hate with love, with compassion, and by staying organized, resisting, and holding the line. As the daughter of immigrants and granddaughter of bracero workers recruited to the United States when it was convenient, this is deeply, deeply personal to me. I learned resilience after my father, who would get fired from minimum wage jobs for speaking up against wage theft and corporate greed. And that ain't right. So I learned to speak truth to power. Corporate power has gone unchecked for far too long. Right now, corporate CEOs and the politicians in their pockets are creating an authoritarian regime in the U.S. run by and for billionaires. Billionaires are standing in the way of making it possible for working families to have good health care, to put food on the table every week, to get their own home, to be able to put our own kids through school. And corporations like Google, right behind us at 320 North Morgan, are helping him along while getting richer. Shame! Google continues to pour funds into Trump's pockets and fatten them up, and change their policies in cooperation with the administration against our communities. Just one block away, at 320 North Sangamon, is another billionaire by the name of Antonio Gracias. He is the CEO at Valor Equity Partners. He's a friend of Elon Musk. And he helped him cut government services like Medicaid, Social Security, and public education to create tax breaks for the ultra-rich. The People's Unity Platform and the Public Health and Safety Coalitions have done the research. And we have the solutions to address investments across Black, brown, and undocumented communities and solving for the city's budget deficit. We call on our city council to deliver a budget that includes solutions researched by the People's Unity Platform and the Public Health and Safety Coalitions. We want a modernized corporate head tax. We want a big tech data mining tax. We want TIF surplus dollars. And we want the police slush fund to end and redirect it to our communities. It is time for city and state officials to stand up to Trump and his billionaire friends by taxing the rich and funding our communities against these federal attacks. Today, we're going to hear from community members impacted by federal budget cuts and corporate greed, frontline workers against Trump's ICE attack, and elected officials who stand with us against billionaires and corporations profiting from disinvestment in our communities and taking those profits to support Trump. Up first, we're going to hear from Ani Huamani with the Brighton Park Neighborhood Council.
Again, my name is Ani, A-N-Y, Huamani, H-U-A-M-A-N-I. I'm here with the Brighton Park Neighborhood Council, but also with the Treatment Not Trauma campaign. And also representing the Southwest Side Rapid Response Team. I'm one of the leads there. So I think it's been clear that we've been under attack way too long. And in recent weeks, it's only escalated. It's only been a week since the Southwest Side got attacked by federal agents. Our community members got tear gas for peacefully protesting, and they even tried to murder one of our community members on the Southwest Side. It's only been a week. This morning, we've already seen multiple kidnappings throughout the city of Chicago. Right now, we have to continue. This continues to happen as we're speaking right now. But has anybody asked what's the trauma that our community members are going to live through the next few years? Our community neighbors are getting kidnapped, snatched in a matter of minutes in front of our own eyes. So, with the Treatment Not Trauma campaign, we continuously ask our elected officials here in Chicago to continue expanding the public mental health services throughout the city. And I want to make sure we emphasize on public, because these are accessible to everyone, not just a certain group of people with insurance, no co-payments, nothing. Making sure everyone has access to public mental health care. We need to make sure we continue expanding our public mental health crisis program, our non-police mental health crisis program that has continuously worked in the past 5 years. It's continuously worked and continues to work. We need to make sure all Chicagoans have access to this. So we're calling on all elected officials here who have the power to make these changes and continue expanding these programs. And we want to make sure that our voice is heard, not only here in Chicago, but across the state and across the nation, because militarization of our cities is not any safer. It only makes our cities more dangerous. That's right. Federal government should not be coming here with their federal agents, because only we keep ourselves safe. And we're going to continue doing that through our rapid response teams, through our community members, because we give each other the care that we need. Thank you.
Thank you, Ani. That's right. We keep us safe.
We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe. Up to the stage, I want to invite Jackson Potter, Vice President of the Chicago Teachers Union.
How y'all doing today? You're looking good. Hey, so we're not just dealing with a government that's increasingly authoritarian. We are dealing with a plutocracy. That's government by the rich, for the rich. And you can see it because this cabinet that this deranged racist in the White House has appointed is the wealthiest cabinet, not in U.S. history, in world history. Wow. They're worth collectively more than $460 billion. All these tech fascists are part of the problem. They got to pay their fair share, don't they? So when Google gives money to MAGA because it wants to pay to play, then they sure as hell better pay some taxes so that our benefits aren't cut, so people have health care, affordable housing. We are not standing for increases in our garbage taxes. We are not standing for property tax increases, not when these people are filling up their pockets and allowing militarization of our cities. They are part of the problem. And until otherwise, we're going to keep pressuring them, aren't we? So we are standing here today because this is what's happening. What we see is Trump's big, horrible bill. It, exponentially increases ICE. And we're seeing that consequence since October 1st here in Chicago, where they're traumatizing and terrorizing our families and neighbors. School children, right? They're cowardly. These are Gestapo tactics, and increasingly people in our city, across the state and across the country are saying we've had enough and we're not for this. We need to transform a broken system so it benefits working families, not these people. So we need to think about decoupling our blue cities, our states, from the feds. We say funds, not feds, because we are a donor city. We are a donor state. Memphis is a donor city. They're part of our alliance, right? Birmingham. They are giving more money than they get back, and now that money is coming back in the form of troops, guns, raids, kidnapping, so we better keep it here, shouldn't we? And we're going to take it back from these people because MAGA gave Illinois, the top 5% of earners, $8 billion in tax breaks. So J.B. Pritzker, tell your billionaire buddies that they got something coming to them this legislative session, and it means restoring Medicaid. for undocumented people, for poor people, for working people. It means funding transit so they're not cutting services. It means funding K-12. And we're going to do a corporate head tax at the city level if only the governor said the same thing at the state level. But we're going to get them there, aren't we? Okay, he's saying the right things about ICE. Now he's got to say the right things about his billionaire bros, himself included. So I'm going to leave it here. And his family, yeah, they're the richest people in the whole state. They're like 5 of the top 10 billionaires. So I'll leave it here. In the 1850s, Chicagoans rejected the Fugitive Slave Act and refused to allow these bounty hunters into our city to take people who were escaping slavery and reaching for freedom. And we're sure as hell not going to do it this time. We keep each other safe.
We're tired and we're not going to take it no more. Funds, not feds.
Funds not feds. Funds not feds. Funds not feds. Funds not feds. Funds not feds. Funds not feds. Funds not feds. Funds not feds. Funds not feds. Funds not feds. Funds not feds. Funds not feds.
Woo! Up next, I want to bring up Maurice Woodard from Equity and Transformation.
How's everyone doing? Maurice, M-A-U-R-I-C-E, Woodard, W-O-O-D-A-R-D. I want to talk about what actual public health and safety looks like. So today, since threats of federal agents increasing within our city, ourselves and other organizations like us have gathered up and said, how do we keep our communities safe in these moments, right? And what's that look like is actually coming together, talking to one another, bringing lawyers in to teach our communities and our neighbors know their rights, even though we know these agents don't care that we know our rights. They will abuse us in the face of that, but we still want to know them, be prepared, right? Film that, right? Coming together and establishing mutual aid hubs across the city so people can stay inside, right? And treat this as the crisis it is as these feds occupy our city and try to take over. We're not going to stand for that, but we got to keep each other safe and stay protected in the means of that. And ourselves and partners alike believe that is true community safety, right? Investing in our youth, giving them jobs and opportunities so they can have a hopeful future, giving community spaces where people can go and be free and be in community each other, enjoy, right? As a black man and the many black faces here I see, we all know feds and police do not make us safer. For many generations, right, they've come and taken us from our homes, abused our community, abused our people, and said, hey, you're the problem. Instead of investing in our communities, in our people, which we've shown has worked. People don't talk about it, but Chicago is coming off one of the safest summers in the last 30 years. Right? We gotta start somewhere, right? It's not something that changes overnight, but it's not federal agents that help that. It's not federal agents that made us safer this summer. Them coming to the west side, causing a car accident and choking a black man outside of the car, which I saw with my own eyes, doesn't make anyone safer. Them raiding a building on 75th and South Shore, having children, babies, black and brown alike, outside, locked up on the side of the street, that's not making anyone safer. That's traumatizing them for years to come and harming the community. So as we've been saying, funds, not feds, invest in the things that work, that this city has proven to work as we're headed in the right direction, and send the feds back to where they came from. Thank you.
That's right. Go back to where, well, only when it comes to the feds. So up next, I want to invite Doris Milton with SEIU Healthcare.
Hello everyone, my name is Doris Milton, M-I-L-T-O-N, and I am a proud Head Start teacher for 46 years. I absolutely love what I do. Every day I go to work, I get to meet young people and help make them turn into what they are meant to be in this society. But our work is essential. we're not paid enough. That's why so many experienced teachers like myself have left the field, been in the service 20, 30, and 40 years, and they are gone, trying to make a living. That's just not right. And of course, this hurts Chicago families, because every time a teacher leaves, a classroom closes. This crisis is getting worse by the day. Raising wages for child care workers, give us a livable wage so we can stay in the jobs that we love, so that we can take care of the families that we love, so we can love and support the children that we love. Paying those wages, we can do it. Last year we fought for $7 million and got it. It made a real difference in the lives of teachers like me. But we still got a lot of work to do. This year we're demanding $20 million. Enough for a dollar raise for every child care worker. We want to open new classrooms. New families to come in and access quality care. Investing in child care in this year's city budget is a critical step toward what families truly need to strive in Illinois. A universal public child care system. Because Illinois families deserve a system built on care and not profit. We have a way to pay for it. If billionaires and large corporations, y'all hear me, pay what they owe in taxes, we can invest in child care so that workers like me can stay happy in the job. Quality, affordable child care for all families. Another example, Chicago can pass a data extraction tax, meaning the city can tax big corporations, companies that benefit off of us. Put something back into the system that you steal from. That's why we're demanding that Chicago make the wealthy few and big corporations pay their share. Because working families shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to bear the burden of broken, underfunded child care system. And we have to say this loud and clear. I want you to hear me. Child care is a racial justice issue. Our workforce is made up mostly of black and brown women. And for too long, we've been undervalued because of systematic sexism and racism that has treated care work less than they should. When Chicago invests in child care, we invest in women of color, in our communities, and in our children's future. That's how we began to right historic wrongs and build a system that truly values care. We're nothing without it. So today, I'm standing with the union. SEIU pride. I'm standing with parents and with all of you here today to demand a people's budget. One that invests in what matters. Housing, youth jobs, mental health, and child care for all. Let's build a Chicago that put babies before billionaires.
I can attest to that too. I'm Rocio with the People's Unity Platform, and I'm a mom of a 4-year-old. She was hanging around earlier today. And when I was looking for a child care center by me, I was told that they had a wait list of students, but they could not find a teacher. So I totally understand when teachers need to get a livable wage, they're not going to enter the child care center, and families like me are going to be left to not be able to take our child to a center so that I can keep working. And that's not right. So many more families like us out there. I want to invite Jai Simpson with Good Kids Mad City up to the stage.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It was just cold, but now it's warm. I'm feeling all the love. I hope y'all feeling it too. I hope it's contagious. I want to start by saying abolish ICE. Yeah. Abolish it. They the modern day slave catchers. Abolish them. I want to say defund big corporations and stop them from hoarding resources. I want to say eat the rich. Y'all know, like eat the rich. Come on, so we can get some. We need our nutrients. We don't got no nutrients out here. Y'all know we stand in solidarity with all our people. So that means standing in solidarity with our youth. Our young people are the heartbeat of this city. They the dreamers. They the builders. They the revolutionary. They the next generation of leaders. But too many of them are being left behind. Too many closed doors are being closed before they even can knock. There's so much untapped potential in our youth. We can't talk about a safer street or stronger schools without talking about the youth job and getting the police out of our community. When our youth are given opportunities to work, they grow. When they earn, they learn. Every young person deserves a fair shot, not just to survive, but to thrive. We need city programs, businesses, and leaders who invest in our youth employment, not cut it, not talk about it, but do it. And when they build, Chicago rises. That's why we need to rally support and make sure that our city is funded ordinances make sure our city is funded ordinances and organizations that have the solutions to our community. We can find this money by taxing the rich. One ordinance that we've been really pushing is the Peace Book. It will not only pay for young people to learn to be peacekeepers in their community, but it will also act as a resource directory for other things such as housing, mental health facilities, and childcare. Why would Trump take away $90 million from federal violence prevention funding?
That ain't right.
Dude, I feel like he expects the National Guard to keep us safe, and I really do not feel safe around military presence. I don't feel like nobody in the world do. I don't feel like I know y'all see what's going on in the world. I don't feel like nobody in the world feel good or feel safe around military presence.
Say that. Right.
These are just some of the things to think about. Instead of sending a new version of slave catchers known as ICE to our communities, he needs to be invested in these schools and these opportunities for our youth to be on the right track. Instead of taxing us, who barely have anything, tax the rich who are hoarding all the resources already. We got, Chicago. We really all we got. So let's continue to pour into our community and pour into our people. We love each other, man. Let's show it.
All right. So yes, this is the Funds Not Feds rally that you heard out here advocating for the investment here in Chicago's people in ways that would actually help them beyond ICE agents kidnapping and disappearing people. We have to step away now because we have to get back to Broadview, Illinois, where we are expecting protests this evening outside of that ICE detention facility out there that we've been bringing you continuous live coverage of. I do want to say one last time, so far today we have been in Cicero, a predominantly Hispanic community, hear from kids out there. We're back over at Broadview where we heard from faith leaders about trying to deliver communion to folks inside of that detention and processing facility in Broadview. We've been out here hearing from activists about what would actually help the people in Chicago, and now we're going back to Broadview to hear how protesters are going to handle with restrictions put on free speech out there. If all of this that we have covered in one day is valuable to you, we are beating the corporate press everywhere on these stories, covering what they're covering and more. If our work is valuable in any way, please consider giving us $5. We have been $5 a month. Go to StatusCoup.com/join and become a member. Be greatly appreciated by myself, by John, Jordan, Michelle, Colin, the whole team here at Status Coup. You go to pay to help keep us on the ground here. And in that spirit, I want to thank a few people who have become new Status Coup members, those being Jane, Lemaris, Eric, Terry, Melissa, Jeffrey, Cecilia, Jeffrey, and Margaret. Thank you, all of you. You have no idea what it means to see that level of support for us. It's truly what keeps this mission going, allows us to be a truly independent voice and giving you that real on-the-ground perspective of news that you're not getting from the corporate press, that you're only getting from independent media like Status Coup. Thank you so much. So from downtown Chicago, or near downtown Chicago, I'm JT Siskowski for Status Coup. We'll see you in, I'll note that we'll see you in 1 hour. And once this live broadcast ends, you'll actually be put in the waiting room for that next live broadcast. So if you want to continue to see our coverage here from the Chicagoland area, see those protests outside of the Broadview ICE facility, you don't have to do anything. It will automatically move you over into that waiting room, and you'll hear us the moment that we go live. So thank you very much for joining us. For myself, for John, we'll see you in just a few minutes.